Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today we're gonna be messing with an old IBM server. It's the IBM System x3850 Model 2, and this is it's a 4U server that can handle up to 4 CPUs. I'm hoping that this is one of the good ones. I have a couple of them, and the reason why this is on the table is because I want to sell it. I have at least 3 of them. Yeah, that's at least 2 too many. So we're gonna be having a look at this and getting it ready for sale, so that well, one of you, hopefully local, will be able to purchase this on my PlayHouse shop. I will put this up for sale. But right now it's complaining. It hasn't been on for years, so apparently I have a hard drive that is not doing too great, and it's also bitching about the internal CMOS battery. It's probably out of power. At least it has forgotten the time and the date, and gonna replace the battery, and we're gonna replace the hard drive, and we're gonna try and install. I was planning to try and install Server 2019 on it. I've had a lot of comments over the years on how to do that. Well, different sorts of Windows operating systems people has wanted to install on this. Server 2012, Server 2016, and now Server 2019, and we're gonna see if that's a problem at all. It might be, it might not be. So it has kind of been a while since I've done any videos on this model. The model is down here, System x3850 Model 2. One of my more popular videos are actually from this server. At the given time, this server, you could purchase that for about $200. I must admit that my video was so popular that these were suddenly not available for that price anymore, because people was buying them. So the price increased to about $500 on this server, and yeah, now it's coming down again. So on the front we have a ESD connection, and if we take that, this is for, you can take this out and put this banana clip in there, and you have a good connection to ground you to the server. This is kind of neat, right? I like that. Nice feature. And of course a label with C on inside. Awesome, thank you. Up here we have a CD-ROM drive, DVD, CD-ROM. Awesome. We have 2 USB sticks. We have room for 4 hard drives on the front here, and we have a pop-up. This is the light path diagnostics, and it will tell you what's going on with the server. Funny enough, it's not complaining about the hard drives here, which is kind of weird since the hard drive itself is complaining. So yeah, that's kind of weird. Otherwise there isn't much on the front. You can take the front off. There it is. And you can see some more stuff in here, like something that shouldn't be there. Here you can take this tray up, something that you do when you need to put in some more processors, but we don't need to do that on this one. I think it's fully occupied. So let's go around and see the back. So around the back here we have the PCI Express extension cards, and they are upright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Otherwise we have a serial connection, and we have an external SAS connector, so you can directly pop in a dash to this server and have extra hard drives, lots of them. We have 3 USB connections, 2 network connections. Then we have the ASM, which is the RSA2, which is the management adapter that sits here. Up here we have some LEDs to tell us about how the server is doing. And then we have 2 very powerful power supplies over here. I do believe these are 1440 watts, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, I can't find that anywhere. That's incredible. Am I that blind? Okay, good beefy power supply. Have no idea how powerful this is, apparently. But it's powerful enough so that the server is redundant. And now it's happy again. So yes, on top of it we have very good explanation of lots of stuff in the server, like how to replace CPU and the VRMs, which is the power voltage regulators that supplies power to the CPUs. It takes the power from the power supply and it converts it to power that is usable for the CPUs. If you only have 1 or 2 CPUs in here, well, you don't usually have the voltage regulator modules for the other CPUs. So if you have one of these servers and you want to expand it, you should remember that you need that one too, and the CPU cooler. So yeah, there's good stuff on how to get down to stuff here and open it up further, replacing fans and all good stuff. So let's open up. Open sesame. So here we are. There is 2 processors here and there is 2 more beneath here, and we can kind of see down here that it is fully occupied. There's a processor there, and there will also be one down there. It has 2 modules for RAM, and it has all the power modules, the VRMs. So that's cool. It is occupied with 2 memory modules. There's room for 2 more here. And we need to go find that bias battery. It's right there. So we need to replace that. I need to go get another one. I think we can probably replace that while the server is running. Nope. Blue is not hot swappable, so we have to power it off. Okay, so I've powered it off, and I'm gonna remove power. And should we just use that ESD wristband now that I've talked about it? So I'm gonna remove this again, and I'm gonna pop that in the front. The idea is that I need to be at the same voltage level as the server. Right now the server is not grounded. I did have an interesting comment about the server being grounded through the VGA connection, because the screen might be grounded and the cable in the VGA might be grounded. So I found that very interesting. I don't know if that's the case, but well, really an interesting comment. Okay, here we have the little bugger, and it's right next to the cable for the hard drives, which is kind of interesting. I can just pop that up. It's a SAS cable, and that goes directly to the system board. You have some of the RAID controller on the system board, and then you can expand it with something that looks like a RAM slot, which is right next to it. But let's get this out of here. I do believe this is an 2032. Let's see that. Yep, CR2032, and I have a package of those. So we're gonna take a new one here. These are the cheap ones. I usually, buy them in the well, we don't have dollar stores here, but the same thing when they are cheap. That has been replaced. Remember to put this cable back down, otherwise that will give you a lot of trouble later. There. Also, we have some expansion cards here, down here. These are actually hot pluggable. This is one of the servers where you can actually hot plug, remove an expansion card. Not really something that I would ever recommend, but in this server they have made it possible. These are just fiber channel HPAs, and yeah, I'm gonna take them out. Well, they're actually pretty good ones. 4 gigabit FC cards, so dual port, which was the really good thing. But yeah, these are hot pluggable, which is also why when you open up this thing here, the server will tell the operating system in some weird way to shut that card down, or maybe it will just stop the connection on the system board down here, so that you can remove the card safely. Really nice feature. We can kind of see the expansion port. Oh, we can take that out so you can see it. The RAID controller expansion thingy is right here. So this thing makes the onboard RAID controller so much better. It has a wire because it also has a battery attachment, and we'll see this RAID controller when we power up the server. Come on, don't be shy. There's the battery, come on up. There. So this is the set that makes this do way more stuff. Well, you can't do way more stuff on the 4 hard drives on the front, but if you had a dash attached to the server, this will also help you that way. Get that battery down there again and connect this. Down here on the system board there's an internal USB port, and from there you can put in a USB stick and you can boot. If you want to run ESXi on this server, you can do that. It works really well to just put a USB stick in there and have your EXI run from that, and then have the 4 hard drives on the front be your data storage. Also, you can see that there is a connection for the SATA DVD right there, and that can of course be used for something else if you have better use for that. So cool. Let's just see one of these memory modules as well. Let's see what kind of RAM we have in this. Oh, it's full. So we have 4 GB blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 8. There's 64 GB of memory in this server. So yeah, this is memory thingy that will. Oh, what RAM is this? This is PC2, so it's DDR2 RAM. Okay. I powered the server again, and it just tested this hard drive again, and it still says that it has failed. So we are just gonna replace it. I do have another one right here that I'm ready to put in instead. I can see that this came out of a blade sensor or blade server, because that's the screws that goes into an HS21, I believe this came out of. So it's still complaining about the CMOS battery and also whining about the date and time being incorrect. So I'm gonna assume that I need to go and reset that before it really fixes it. I have removed the screws on the hard drive, so I'm gonna take this one out and I'm gonna put come on. And I'm gonna replace it with the one here. They should be about the same, which they are actually not, but both of them are 73.4 gigabytes, 15,000 RPM SAS drives. I am sure it's gonna be fine. So okay, hard drive has been replaced, so we're gonna pop that in. I'll have to create a new virtual thingy in the. Oh, it's checking the drive now. It's spinning it up. I'm gonna be checking it, and it's gonna be complaining about that, I'm sure. Seems better. It might actually be copying data from here to here. There's a good chance that these 2 drives are in a mirror, and now it's I've replaced one of the mirror drives, and it's now gonna be copying data over. I hope this is gonna go away, but it seems reasonable that it's doing that. Awesome. Let's set time and date. Okay, let's continue. And we're gonna go and set the time and date. Oh, we are in the future. How did it come up with that? So we are right now the 19th of 03 2020, in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, and the time is less than that, and the time is 9:43 Central European Time. Awesome. Escape. It sees our 64 gigabytes of memory. It also sees the CPU. I saw that doing booting, but come on, it's a 2.4 gigahertz CPU, 6 megabytes of cache on each. It doesn't reveal that in here. Never mind. Save settings. Yes. Okay, so it's checking out the system right now, initializing different stuff. It kind of takes a while on these big servers. The bigger the physical server is, the longer it is normally at booting. For some reason they check and double check and it takes forever to boot a server like that. At the moment the hard drive is not complaining, but it did right before, so that was a bit worrying, but right now it has stopped doing that. Here we see the CPU is quad-core CPUs, 2.4 gigahertz, and there are 4 of those, so a total of 16 cores here. We want to go into the hard drive configuration. I want to see how that's set up. So network cards, RAID controller, what do I press? Come on, control something. Control H. And to go in there you need a mouse. So a Lenovo mouse. Awesome. There. We see that we have a RAID controller, and it says that it's the MR10K. You can kind of see that up here where the mouse is also at. And right now the hard drive is again complaining about being orange, but we should see more when we get in here. It's rebuilding, that's why it's complaining. So we do have a virtual drive 0 here, and right now we are rebuilding that, and the other drive is online. I wonder if we can see how it's doing with the rebuilding, if we get some kind of percentage anywhere. Oh, we do, right here. Awesome. It's 42% done rebuilding. This orange text is really horrible to read, but yeah, we are gonna wait for that. And so we can see the orange LED is blinking right here. We're on 97%, and I'm very curious if it goes out when this rebuild is done. Otherwise we might have another bad disk, which is, well, that's too many bad disks at once. Let's see what happens. Maybe the other one wasn't bad at all. It has completed. It's totally stopped blinking. I didn't expect that. Okay, everything is good. It's green. We have a virtual disk. Well, first we have a disk group 0, and that's in the RAID 1. And then we have a virtual drives. We have drive 0. That is that one, and that has those 2 disks. So if you're going to install anything on a server like this, you need to go in and configure the RAID controller. If the disks are not configured in the RAID controller, you won't have anything to install on. So the RAID controller is between the disks and the operating system. So you kind of can pass through a disk, but you have to make it as a RAID 0 in that case. But otherwise, normally you'll make some kind of a RAID, and that RAID will be presented to the operating system so that the operating system has something to work with. But the RAID controller is in control of that, and if you don't do anything, just pop in a drive and don't do anything in the RAID controller, it won't work, because you need to tell the RAID controller what to do with that bloody disk. Otherwise it's just not gonna be presenting it to the operating system. Okay, so I let this server boot up, and yeah, there is some information that you don't need. So we can kind of see that at least it boots VMware ESXi 5.5, which has been on here for forever. 64 gigabytes of RAM, and the CPU is the Intel Xeon E7330. A 2.4 gigahertz CPU, 4 cores, 4 of those, so awesome. This server can handle a newer version of ESXi, but it cannot use the latest and greatest. I think you need to go down on a version 6 point something to really have it work. Okay, so I've popped in my trusty USB stick with server 2019, and we're gonna see if we can install that. I don't see why not, but let's see what happens. And we need to pick our boot system. What do we press? F12. 12. Press F12. Okay. It does not show my USB stick. That's kind of irritating. Embedded hypervisor, I don't know if that will do the trick. Regular disk, CD, nah. What will happen if we try that one? Nope, I'll have to go into the BIOS and see if I can figure this out. Okay, a few hours has passed, and if I have lost some hair in the meanwhile, that's because I couldn't figure this out. That was a mystery. I have my very good USB stick here with server 2019 on it, and I've been trying and trying and trying. I've been moving it from USB stick to... What's on with the lights? I've been moving it from USB port to USB port. I've had it internal in the server, I've had it on the front, on the back. Nothing worked. Whatever I did, it didn't show up. Right now you can see that down here there's a USB stick. I figured it out. I put in an older USB stick. This is a USB stick 2. This is a USB stick 3. I don't know if that's it, but I'm guessing. This one just happens to have Windows 10 on it. So what I will do is I will go and put server 2019 on that instead. And it's just kind of a shame. This would have been faster. It's better to have a slower USB 2 than a non-working and non-showing up USB 3. So yeah, I'll go to my computer, download the newest version of server 2019 version whatever, and put that on a slower USB stick so that we can get this up and running. Okay, I've installed server 2019 on my 16 GB USB stick that is in there. So it sees my Kingston. Let's try that. This boot only. Let's cross our fingers and hope it boots. It does. Awesome. Let's not do the installation of 2019. We have done that multiple times. But I'll get back to you if anything interesting happens. Okay, not really that interesting, but really irritating. It sees the drive where it should be able to install the operating system on. This drive is called Drive 0 Partition 1 for some weird reason. But Windows can't install on this drive. Show details, and it just says that it can't. Windows cannot be installed on this drive. The computer hardware might not be supported booting on this blah 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 blah. Weird as heck. Yeah, that is irritating. And you don't get to do that. Format, yes. And just, well, I'm gonna try and boot it and see if that helps any. Meh. It takes forever on this USB 2. Okay, I booted it again, and now there is nothing wrong. Weird, but well, it's working. USB 2, very slow. And the rest of the installation was no problem whatsoever. And you can see that server 2019 is now running here. It shows the CPU over there, pointing at the wrong thing. And yeah, 64 gigabytes of memory, 64 byte operating system. Awesome. And we can see here it found most of the device drivers. It is missing something here. HID sys. I am not gonna bother to figure that out. Doesn't matter. Okay. Over here in the task manager under the performance we see the 16 cores, and as these CPUs does not have hyperthreading, these are 16 real cores, which is also set down here that it's 16 cores and 16 logical processors. If it had had hyperthreading, we would probably have seen 8 cores and 16 logical processors. So awesome. The rest of the installation wasn't a big deal. That USB thing with this USB 3 and this USB 2, I'm not sure if that was the thing, but well, that's the thing that this one I formatted in MBR, Master Boot Record. It suggested GR something else. I forget what that's called. And yeah, I didn't pick that one. It said that you needed an UEFI BIOS, and I do not believe that this server has an UEFI BIOS. So that might have been what's going on here, but I didn't test that further. I just wanted it to work. After that, the thing where I wasn't able to install on the drive was a bit weird, but I have seen that before, that you can go all the way to the drive and then you try to format it and it doesn't work, and well, you have to boot the system again, and it's kind of weird, but well, in this case it just worked the second time. So as said, this one is up for sale, and as all of Denmark is on lockdown because of the coronavirus and no foreigners are able to come in, yeah, it's gonna be a bit hard, but I'm gonna put it up for sale on my PlayHouse shop. Links in the description. Price I don't know yet. Go check out what I made up for the price. If no one wants it, I'll just keep dumping the price until somebody bites on it. I also did that on the Dell server that well, it's actually still for sale, but it's half price by now. So yeah, check that out. Also, if you should happen to need one of these fiber optic HBAs 4 gigabit cards, well, I have a lot of those for sale, so please check out my little shop. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.